Okay, welcome, Joe, in Holland.
Thank you.
It was a great thing. The concert was great,
Thank you.
and I saw you with two guitars playing.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
It's great to be back in Holland, and it was really nice to play here at Fellowship of Acoustics. This is a wonderful store, wonderful people,
Yeah.
and it was a nice evening for me.
Yes. Can you talk about your youth? Because I'm a school teacher,
Okay.
and I want that so many kids play music, listen to music, and get inspired. And I'm inspired by you, and you're inspired with other guys. Can you tell me about that time when you were young?
Yeah. Well, I started learning piano when I was about 6, and my parents really encouraged me to play piano. I wouldn't say forced, but more or less kind of said, take piano lessons, it's very good for you. And I agree that it was very good for me. However, I didn't like sitting at the piano.
No.
I wanted to stand and play.
All right.
And when I was about 10 years old, I decided I wanted to learn the guitar. So I begged my parents. And I had a small 3/4 size nylon string guitar, which is a really good learning guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to take guitar lessons with a teacher at my school, who was a great teacher because he helped me fall in love with playing. And I just...
A private teacher?
yeah, he was a private teacher that came to the school and gave lessons to some students, like 1 day a week.
Mm-hmm.
And every lesson, I would learn the song that he taught me, and then I would show him a song. That was my little challenge.
Okay.
So he'd show me Tears in Heaven. And I'd learn Layla from the book. So I had a really nice experience learning the guitar. I just found I loved it. I took it to school every day and played, during the lunch hour and recess. And when I made my first CD, I was about 15.
Okay.
And it was a scary experience to realize I didn't sound like I thought I sounded.
Okay.
So when you hear yourself back through the speakers,
Yeah.
you kind of go, wow, I'm speeding up and I'm slowing down and the notes aren't as clean as I want. So I decided to become really disciplined with my practice. And so I used to wake up at 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
every day. And I still love to do this when I can. It's difficult with the routine of playing concerts, but I love to wake up early, practice, and I had a chart on my wall that was 15 minutes of all kinds of different things. So 15 minutes of scales, 15 minutes of jazz, 15 minutes of just doing like picking exercises or like legato exercises. And I liked the morning because, I have 3 brothers and sisters.
Okay.
And in the evenings, it's just crazy. They're all talking, and it's just can't find any peace and quiet. But the mornings was my time to, focus. And I used to practice 4 hours before school every day.
But had you a silent guitar or?
Well,
how about that?
Yeah, I just didn't play very loud, and I had an electric guitar.
All right.
And my acoustic, was kind of just. And we had an old farmhouse, and sometimes I'd go outside if it wasn't too cold.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't too cold in Australia, but I look back on that time when I was, a teenager as when I really formed my technique, and I rely on those skills today.
Yes.
When I play any song or any concert.
Can you give an advice to the children? They are about 6 to 12. Or their parents, because at my school not everybody can buy an instrument or have the opportunities we have. Is there something you can give an advice to them?
Yeah.
What to
do?
I
think for me it's really important to have good mentors. So to find someone who can steer you in the right direction.
Yeah.
And it can be a guitar teacher. That can be a wonderful thing. Or it can even be, if you want to learn music, going to see music, talking to the musicians, saying, how did you learn? How do you do this? How do you get this sound? Tell me. People like curiosity.
Yeah.
And if you seek out musicians and people who can be mentors to you, that to me is the way to really grow. And I learned to play on a guitar that was like a $60 guitar. It was just a very cheap nylon string, small body guitar, and people could see that I was so obsessed with playing. They used to lend me guitars. So my parents played some music, and they had some friends, and they'd say, "Oh, here's the Les Paul, like a copy of a Les Paul that you can play." And then after a while, they'd say, "Oh, here's a Stratocaster," and I saved up.
Yeah.
And one thing I would say is, if you're, a young person who can play a few songs, start a band with a few friends.
Okay.
And they don't even need to be, they don't even need to play anything yet.
No?
You can find someone, if you can talk them into it, find someone to play bass, find someone to play percussion, start a little band. It's a wonderful way to make a little money, entertain people.
Yeah.
I grew up playing in bands, from age 10, 11.
Okay. And the fun really begins.
Yeah, it's really a cool experience to play music with your friends. So yeah, and I would also say that if you don't have access to a guitar teacher, you can learn a lot online on YouTube. It's kind of a bit of a rabbit hole because there's just so much information out there. But if you find people that you like and people that you connect with, who are providing content that you can learn from, it can be a really wonderful thing. So yeah, hope that helps.
Yeah, it will. Thank you very much for this conversation. Thank you that you want to be my mentor today.
Oh, no.
You were